Welcome back to Little Rock. Jack DeCooman out for another inning of work. The last two innings, South Alabama able to get the double play ball to get them out of the inning. Looking at 8-9-1 for South Alabama facing DeCooman. You will see a righty, a lefty, and a righty. That first pitch will miss outside for ball one. This is one of those innings, you know, it's starting all over. We're in the seventh inning, 3 innings to go, 3 full innings, 0-0 essentially the score since it's knotted up at 3. As another one will miss.
It's the type of game where you think about in hockey when you go into overtime, hey, game to 1. Or I'm told that about soccer too, but I know very little.
For those that don't know, Coop is from Chicago. Currently, and always. Fastball away, over the outside corner. Takes it now to 2-1. Yeah, I'm told that we have soccer teams in Chicago. I simply don't know about those. Do you have a pretty good hockey team occasionally up there, though?
We do. It was absolutely thrilling to be in town for those 3 Stanley Cup wins. Auerbach fouls that one off to the right side, evens up the count at 2-2. And we had a really good basketball team many years ago, too.
That was almost before my time.
That makes one of us. 2-2. On the ground, shortstop, ranging well to his backhand, Figueroa. And he'll put that one in his pocket. He had very little to no chance of getting Auerbach there at first base. Fine play, ranging far to his right on the dive, but getting up and throwing across would have been difficult, even with a catcher running.
Yeah, you can see another just great play. Trojans going to have to get some T-shirts, some graphic tees made up, just guys laying out all over the infield. And they get the glove on it. That's probably a smart play to not throw it. You don't want to throw it away. You don't want to compound things, especially with no outs here in the top of the 7th.
Defensively, there are no holes in these Trojans. All right, DeCooman now, lefty-lefty battle against the 9-hitter, Bennett Shell, the right fielder. So far today, singled and scored in the 5th, flew out to Soto and left in the 1st. DeCooman comes home. We get a bunt. Down the line, foul. Shell seemed immediately disappointed with that bunt. That was a strange reaction when that ball went down.
I think he was just glad that it didn't hit him. He definitely, it was almost like a defensive thing how that ball got in there on him.
All right, 0-1. We saw bunt the first time. We would expect that Barnum will be crashing hard from first. DeCooman will be responsible for covering that third base side of the mound. Bunted right back at the pitcher. He's going to go to second for the first one. Throw takes Figueroa off the bag, and broadcasters jinx talking about the good defense. It goes away right there. That will be a sacrifice. That may go as a sacrifice. Will certainly go as an E1. May go as a fielder's choice, and he just airmails this ball.
That's one thing. Pitchers, they do it all the time. Spring training, if you're a big MLB fan, you see this. They work on it. But you don't do it that often, so you can see that ball just kind of sails on him. Might have thought about it a little bit too much. I, for one, I'm okay with the pitcher just taking it out and going to first right there. But that'll do it on the day for Jack DeCooman. So short leash, runners on first and second. It's going to be interesting to see. I'll say it 100 times. My wife actually gets tired of me saying it whenever we're in the house, but it's the game within the game. So playing matchups, let's see what Coach Curry for the Trojans has up his sleeve. How is they going to work out of this jam in the top of the 7th?
Well, he's going to go to Dylan Delgadillo. The senior right-hander comes in out of the bullpen. The 4th hurler of the day that we've seen here for the Trojans. What can you tell us about Dylan?
So Dylan is a senior. You can see he is a graduate student. Let me get down to him. I can tell you one thing just off the bat. He is inheriting a complete jam.
You know, one thing that I feel compelled to mention that I have not talked about so far, Jonathan, in addition to being my play-by-play partner here today, you are the athletic academic advisor. I'm probably messing that title up, but you're responsible for ensuring the academic success of 200-plus student athletes. Is that right?
That is correct. That's my day gig, if you will, is the athletic academic coordinator. So I know most of these student athletes very well. Always one of those things that sometimes I got to make sure I don't share too much because I do know a lot about them. Dylan is a graduate student for us, and he is majoring in sports management. You can see he's listed 5'10", 195. Coach Curry going to trust him right here to try to work out of a jam. But, yep, I have one of the greatest jobs in the world, getting to work with some D1 athletes. Enjoy every single team that we have here at Little Rock. Try not to be too much of a homer on the air, but sometimes I do get a little excited because when you get to know these kids personally and get to see them, accomplish things both on and off the field, you get excited.
Well, I think what's important is you take a look here at Chris Curry, and currently in his 7th season here as the head coach for the Trojans. When you are a parent and you are entrusting your son or daughter to a program, to a university, you're entrusting them to a coach, someone who will guide that student athlete, but it's that support staff. Chris Curry may get all the credit, or he may frankly get all the blame in some cases, but it's the people like you that provide such tremendous support to these student athletes that too often gets forgotten.
Well, I really appreciate that. You're giving me chills, making me feel good. I got a big smile on the face if you can't tell it in the voice, but whenever you have a coach like Coach Curry and the rest of the coaching staff, and then great players, great athletes across the board, it really makes doing your job easy.
If you're a Trojan fan, you hope that Dylan Delgadillo can do his job easily here. He is, as you said, in a jam. Top of the order for Delgadillo now. Little Rock Catholic product, Cameron Tissue here.
Is he going to go for the bunt?
He squares around, gets it down in front of the plate. Off quickly to field. Off the mound is Delgadillo. Throws over to first, almost gets Hussein's clock cleaned over there, but Jordan does a very nice job skipping rope, switching feet, and doing the job there with the sac bunt as Tissue, and he now moves both runners into scoring position. So it's Auerbach over at third, it's Shell at first. You see the fine footwork over there by Jordan Hussein. The infield now at the corners is in. The Trojans are going to concede the run on a ball hit up the middle. You don't want to cut the middle infielder's range down too much, but Barnum and Lyons even with the bag. That ball given a ride out to right field over the head of the right fielder Rodriguez. Kenny comes up throwing, gets it in. Relay coming home, not in time. Solid relay throw, but it was simply too late. Too much speed from Bennett Shell coming around from second base. And frankly, a ball driven with too much strength out to the wall there by Sandel. So it's a double for the junior. It's his second hit on the day. Homered in the fifth, has now driven in two more. Take a look at this. Didn't try and do too much with it. Ball was just out over the plate, hit it the other way, and it tailed a little bit. The wind is actually now blowing out to right. I don't think the wind would have made a difference there. That was still going to be a 2 RBI double. And we're going to go to the pen here quickly. Chris Curry brings out the hook.
One thing to take a note of, that Sun Belt preseason player of the year was just given an intentional walk. So there'll be runners on first and second. Again, almost like we just had a deja vu moment, if you will, as Little Rock will make a pitching change with runners on first and second.
Yeah, we saw Ethan Hall get an intentional walk last night in the third inning, or should I say we didn't see him get an intentional walk last night. He suddenly showed up at first base, and we were all kind of shocked there and couldn't figure out how he got there, and then we realized that he was given the intentional pass, which is just the four-finger surprise. So there's a good look at here's the replay of that ball driven into right field by Sandel. Pretty good relay throw, pretty good throw there by Rodriguez. Good solid relay by Hussein, but just too much to do there. So Eric McKnight comes in now. McKnight, 6'2", 195 senior out of Heritage High School in Littleton, Colorado. Sorry, he's a sophomore. He's not a senior. Tell us about Eric. Don't tell us about his grades, but what can you tell us about him?
I can tell you one thing. Eric is a fun kid to work with. You can see that 6'2", 195. He's going to come in right here. Again, this is what we like to call the fireman role. So we're going to get to see if he has any of the experience out there battling the wildfires in Colorado, because he is inheriting a jam.
So far in the season, very, very limited action. He's thrown 6 2/3 innings. He does have a decision. That was a loss. He's got 12 Ks against 8 RBIs. There's a good look down at the South Alabama head coach, Mark Calvey.
McKnight looked good in his last appearance against Arkansas. 1 2/3 inning pitched, no earned runs, had no walks, did strike out 2 of the Razorbacks in that game. You know, one thing I almost mentioned right before is runners on second and third, 1 out. Couldn't use the intentional walk right there because you do have this preseason player of the year looming on deck. However, it makes you wonder, if you put him on, do you have a Casey at bat situation? What do you think?
So that's an interesting thought. I mean, Wilson obviously very, very dangerous as a hitter. Last night was not retired on base all 4 times he came to the plate. Today, he was 0 for 3 prior to being intentionally walked. Speaking of fire, I don't think you play with it.
You know, it's one of those things that hindsight's always 20/20. You know, if you did it, who knows how it would turn out now in real time. But
pickoff attempt at second almost got by Figueroa. It looked like he didn't look it into the mitt there. So defensively, playing well behind the runner at first is Barnum. Up the middle, you see your middle infielders there. Hussein well away from the bag. It's Figueroa's responsibility to keep Sandel close at second. Fields just behind the bag and a few steps off as that first pitch is attempted to check his swing, but it does go for a strike. Stokes so far today, single and drove in a run in the first, grounded out to second base in the third, struck out swinging in the fifth. 0-1 count now, 1 out. Foul tipped back at the feet of home plate umpire Ryan Broussard. And quickly now, McKnight is in front 0-2.
1 out, a ground ball could get you out of this inning.
Pitcher's best friend right there, Hussein, among the league leaders, maybe the league leader in terms of participating in double plays. We've had 26 double plays on the season for the Little Rock Trojans so far. They'd certainly love to see their 27th. A fastball 92 miles an hour, well up and away. And we're now at 1-2.
Another part of that opener strategy is you get a lot of different looks. So we've seen some lefties, we've seen some righties, each person with their own unique delivery. So you can change where that ball is coming at you as a hitter. That can be just enough.
That just missed off the outside corner, evens up the count at 2-2. Yeah, to your point about changing the eye line, changing the delivery point, we saw the side armor out of the pen last night, which changed a whole lot of guys' eye lines on from the Trojan batter's standpoint. In the dirt, Russ throws down, but it's late. I believe that'll go as a wild pitch. I think that was in the dirt. I don't think that was boxed by Russ. So now the runners move up, which defeats the purpose somewhat of the intentional walk strategy. Or you at least are happy that you didn't have to face Wilson, but now you have an open base. The defense, as you can see, has now moved in. So infield full in at all 4 positions. Force is no longer in order. Grounded to first. Barnum whiffs on that. Did get a glove on it, but that's going to be deflected into right field. That runner from second's going to come all the way around without a throw and score. So Sandel scores and Wilson scores from second. And it's now a 7-3 ball game.
That right there is one of those things that is a deflating moment for McKnight on the mound. Get the ground ball that you want right at a corner infielder. That run's probably not going to go unless the runner was breaking on the crack of the bat. you're probably sitting there in a situation now where even though the runners were on second and third, you have 2 outs, and that run doesn't come in, but instead 2 more runs in this inning.
Fastball taken down low. McKnight right now simply needs to bull his neck. He's got to take a deep breath, work his way through. Double play now in order. Ground ball will get him out of the inning. Nobody feels worse about that play than Kobe Barnum. He'd certainly like to be on the receiving end of that return throw on a double play. And there's that ground ball to short. Figueroa, 6-4, not in time. But hey, little damage done there, right? You traded a runner out there, same position. You've still got a runner on first. You've got 1 more out. So 2 dead now, and you move on to the young man from the Netherlands, Tommy van de Sanden. So far today, he has walked, he has struck out, and he has struck out looking. Hasn't put the ball in play today. If you're a Jaguars fan, you're certainly hoping he does. If you're a Trojans fan, you certainly hope he doesn't.
One interesting thing to think about here, too, is just mentally for McKnight on the mound. You get that first ground ball, that's what you wanted. Doesn't go your way. You come back, you make another pitch, you get another ground ball that you want, can't quite get the double play. So this is one he's either feeling good about his stuff right here, or it might be in his head a little bit of, what do I got to do? Baseball is a game that it's just as much mental as it is anything else. And so hopefully, if you're a Trojan fan, McKnight saying, hey, I'm locating my pitches where I'm wanting them, I'm getting them what I need, and now I'll just do it again.
Gets one in there for a strike. Yes, as Yogi Berra said, 90% of baseball is half mental, and you're absolutely right.
As a big Yankees fan, I love the Yogi-isms.
0-1 now. The lead at first by Montiel. He's just out to the cutout. That's fouled back. That would have come into the booth if it weren't for that net. 0-2 count now. If you look at the fact that McKnight threw over a couple of times to keep Montiel close, I don't know that we saw his best move there. I'm pretty confident we didn't. That's a good look right there. You can see the leadoff that Santi is going to take. He has only 1 steal this season in 3 attempts, so it's not like he is a big threat on the bases, at least on paper. Great shot there by our crew to get that non-A1 look from McKnight, but he's keeping him close, and that's what's important.
That is the game within the game. Got to make them know that you're paying attention to them. That way they can't get a jump we saw earlier.
0-2, did he go? He did not go. Pitch was off the plate. John Michael Russ was hoping that he had gone far enough. I didn't think that he did from up here. So now we'll take the count to 1-2.
I didn't think so either, but I love the fact that Ryan Broussard there immediately went to his first base umpire. As a home plate umpire, you can't make that call. You don't know. You're trying to watch the ball. You're not watching the bat. Always lean on those guys that are out there helping you.
Topped foul off to the left. Still 1-2. Again, Van de Sande with a walk and 2 Ks today. I'm certain what's in his mind is to put a ball in play here. The wind has picked up again. It's blowing out pretty hard. That's a great look there, and I have to appreciate the fact that much like Javi Baez, he managed to make his own check swing call there to try to prove that he didn't swing. Heat inside, fastest pitch we've seen so far today, 96-mile-an-hour fastball just in off the plate for McKnight. Evens up the count at 2-2. Deuces are wild here, 2-2, 2 outs. Santi Montiel on first. Van de Sanden in the batter's box. The delivery. Grounded to short. Figueroa stays low. Easy toss over to second base to Jordan Hussein. But a lot of damage done there by the Jaguars. That's the inning they've been looking for all weekend. 4 runs in the inning. Makes it now a 7-3 lead as we head to the stretch for the Jaguars.